Hello, welcome, welcome. It is Boxing Day today. The kids are in bed. Well, I say kids. Kid, the other one, is out with family at their house sleeping over. So I have some time to record, and I am so glad because I feel like I've done nothing to do with YouTube for the last 3 days, and I'm having withdrawal symptoms from talking to you all. So here we are. I hope you had a really good Christmas, everyone. And if you don't celebrate, I hope you had a really good 25th. Today, we're going to be taking a look at r/slash best of Redditor updates. And it appears that we have a scheming best friend. So if that sounds like something you'd like to unpack with me today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you, because we are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by my birthday in March. Okay? All right then, what does Direct Caterpillar 77 have for us today in the form of absolute madness? So this one, like I say, was posted by Direct Caterpillar 77, and the title says, I, 26F, was humiliated in front of my fiance, 35M, by my best friend, 27F. I am not sure if I should forgive her. How should I handle this? Oh dear, this sounds abhorrent. So Direct Caterpillar is not the original poster. They are the person who curated it and posted it in Best of Redditor updates for us. The original poster is u/throw RA big girl prob, and it was originally posted in r/relationship advice. So we have some trigger warnings for death of a loved one, body shaming, degradation, humiliation, mood spoilers for horrific and enraging. Okay, so buckle yourself in. Seems like it's going to be a wild ride. So the original post was posted March 16th, 2024. I will do my best to keep this to as few words as possible. I have a small group of people I consider my best friends that I have known all my life. I'll use fake names for them: Beth, Stace, and Gwen. Of the three, only Gwen is married and or in a relationship. I'm a big girl, 5'3", 260 pounds. I've always had issues with my weight and have self-esteem issues. I was always told, you have such a beautiful face, and if you were smaller, I would date you. Flippin' rude. Oh my goodness. I've been in a few relationships where it was obvious that my boyfriends at the time were ashamed to be seen with me. That is awful. They would never hold my hand in public and never posted pictures of us together on Instagram and Facebook. My luck on dating apps consisted of getting ghosted or just wanting sex. And I'm embarrassed to say that I allowed myself to be used by some guys. Eventually, I stopped responding to most messages. That is so flippin' sad. Like, I can kind of understand the knock to the confidence that you get when you have a partner that's like that. Because after I had my youngest, my ex was so horrible about my body and the way it had changed. Because yeah, I put on a good few pounds. Who doesn't after they've had a kid? You know, I was knackered. I already had one child, I had another. I also had a man child in my life at the time. So I put on a few pounds, and oh my goodness, the amount of taking that he would do about my body and my appearance. Sad times, sad times. 3 years ago, I met my fiance Kyle at one of my nephew's soccer games. Oh, and by the way, I'm not telling you any of that for you to feel sorry for me. I'm telling you that to say that I empathize with the way that the OP must have felt, because I have been in that situation where I have been put down about my appearance and the appearance of my body by an ex, and it does cause a lot of psychological damage and confidence damage and whatnot. You know, it really can kick you for six, honestly. Anyway, Carl was the coach and approached me afterwards. He asked me if I was ever going to reply to his message. I was confused, and he said he messaged me a week prior and answered a question I had on my POF profile. Oh my goodness, POF. That's a flashback that I did not want to have a flashback to. Ugh. Yeah, I tried internet dating for a while, and me, it was a cesspool. That's when I remembered his message and I got embarrassed. I told him that I had been busy and he asked me if I had any plans for later that night. My sister and nephew both liked him and had told me as much. I agreed and exchanged numbers with him, even though I felt like he was out of my league. Kyle is average sized and in shape. To this day, I don't know why he didn't walk out on me on that date. I got it into my head that he was only after sex and might have some big girl fetish. We met up for an early dinner at a casual Mexican restaurant, and within 5 minutes I asked him, "Are you just looking for a hookup because you have a thing for fat girls?" He shook his head and told me that he was interested because of the things I listed on my profile, like how I liked soccer, my favourite wine, TV shows, and that my photos I posted showed that I liked to travel. I also get that, assuming that people just are interested in you because there is something about your appearance that they kind of are a little too into. I get that, obviously, having tattoos in very obvious places. I get people, I love your tattoos. I love women with tattoos. And I'm like, please go away. You're giving me the creeps. Like, it goes, I don't know how to explain it to you, but I'm not saying people that are like, oh, I love tattoos on women are all gross and creepy, by the way, because they're not. But there are a certain subtype that are very creepy about it. And I just don't know how to explain it to anyone who's never experienced it before. But it doesn't feel good. He led most of the conversation and tried to get me to open up and ask questions. He would gently touch my hand from time to time and tried flirting. Somehow, he asked to see me again. What do you mean, somehow? Lovey, you sound like a catch already. You sound down to earth, humble, what's not to like? And the second date went a lot better. I found out he was a widower that lost his wife and 2-month-old son in a car crash a decade before. He had tried dating off and on for a few years, but nothing serious came of it. He worked in the field I got my degree in, but had no luck getting hired into. Within 3 months, we were officially boyfriend and girlfriend. My friends and family were thrilled, and his family welcomed me in, even his former in-laws, who he still considered family, all except Beth. Do you know that is such a massive green flag? If his late wife's family still consider him family and don't mind him going on and dating and stuff, and they think, great, we'll really want to see him happy, that is such a green flag. Anyway, let's see what Beth's been up to then, shall we? Beth, when I told her, kept asking if I was sure about him. She asked if he wasn't just using for sex, which had yet to happen. Then it was, well, he probably doesn't want to have sex with you. Wow. When I mentioned that he holds my hand in public and would pull me just a bit closer to him when we would go out for drinks when guys would walk towards us, that is so cute. Suddenly, it was that he was controlling. Eventually, Carl met my 3 best friends and they all liked him immediately, and Beth said he was a keeper. He helped me get hired at another company in my field, starting at $70,000 plus benefits after I politely declined an opportunity to work alongside him. That's smart, to be fair. Yeah. When you start dating someone new, it's probably not a good idea to take a job right alongside them. I say all this because since Kyle has come into my life, he has shown me nothing but love, affection, grace, and kindness. He has also helped me start to get past my insecurities. I love that. I was over 300 pounds when I met him, and now I'm at 260. My initial fears of being some fetish of his are gone, and he has been there in every way I could ever want. Oh, that's so cute. A few days ago, we hosted a dinner with Beth, Stace, Gwen, and her husband. Kyle and Gwen's husband Mike had become friends and they did all the cooking and cleanup. Everything was going good and we were all relaxing on the back porch drinking some cocktails when Beth asked me in front of everyone, "Why do you tolerate that picture of Kyle with his dead wife and son?" Okay, Beth, you massive bitch. We will swing back to that, but how cute is that as well, that Kyle and Mike have become like little besties and they're doing the cooking and the cleaning up. This guy is such a green flag, honestly. Although that could actually be the bare minimum, and I have just had terrible relationships. Who knows? I was absolutely mortified. Kyle looked upset but was keeping his composure. I explained that it was the only picture that he had had of the three of them together and that I would never ask him to hide it because that was his wife and son. That he loved them and that I know Kyle loves me and that she was being rude and needed to call an Uber to leave. Precisely, you tell her. She obviously had too much to drink and didn't seem like she wanted to leave. Then she absolutely embarrassed me when she brought up a humiliation I had endured with an ex during the lowest part in my life that I hadn't told Kyle about. I bet keeping the picture up was his idea and you went along with it, like when Jeff made you wear a pig mask and oink while he f***ed you. Oh my god. That's horrific. Oh my god. And then for her best friend to try and humiliate her with that? If I was there, I'd be like, I got you back, love. Don't you worry, move. Kyle absolutely exploded on her and yelled that she'd get the out of our house. Yes, you tell her. Mike and Gwen had to drag a now crying Beth out with Stace following them. When they left, I just started bawling and looked at Kyle and started to repeat that I was sorry and if he didn't want me anymore that I understood. All my insecurities that I worked so hard to overcome came flooding back. He just hugged me and kissed the top of my head and told me that what I did before doesn't bother him. It was Beth humiliating me that pissed him off. He told me that it's up to me if I remain friends with her, but he doesn't want to be around Beth anymore. Yeah, I don't blame him at all. He cleaned up the patio and held me as I fell asleep crying. Today I texted Beth that we needed to talk. We met up for brunch and she was very embarrassed about her behaviour, but I told her I don't think I can be a friend. She should be embarrassed. She should just be embarrassed about her general sense of being, to be honest, if she's that toxic and nasty. She then started to blame Kyle for our friendship ending and that he was in the head for making you look at his dead wife and kid. Don't throw away our friendship over him. I got up, paid for my food, and left. Gwen and Stace don't want to be in the middle, but agree that Beth was in the wrong and that they are happy that I found the love of my life and hope one day things will return to normal. I'm sorry. Absolutely not. If I witnessed a best friend of mine say that sort of disgusting stuff to another best friend of mine, I'd be ditching Beth straight away. No second chances. That's disgusting. I told them that I won't be upset if they hang around with Beth, but I don't want to be included if she is with them. They're fine with that. Beth was my first friend and someone I always looked up to. She held me as I cried when my first boyfriend left me a week after I lost my virginity to him because he was dared to date me and sleep with me. Now I'm wavering about wanting to give her another chance. We have so much history and amazing memories. Carl said that he would support me either way, but he was a hard no on being around Beth outside our wedding if I wanted her there. Honestly, fair play to Kyle because I'd be like, she ain't stepping foot in my wedding, mate. Not a chance. She's vile. Honestly. And seriously, when a toxic friend shows you their toxic tendencies, believe them because you think a boyfriend's gonna hurt you bad if he does you dirty. Just wait till a best friend does you dirty in like a big way. That is another level of hurt. Ditch them, be done with them. Cutting off friends is hard, yes. I've done it before with a friend who I was friends with since school. I did that about, I'd say, 5 or 6 years ago, maybe. And do you know what? Life has been so much calmer and so much more chill since cutting them out. I'm so torn on what to do because she was drunk. Drunk words are sober thoughts. But still she said those words and they cut me to the core. Should I forgive her or cut her out of my life? TLDR, I'm a big girl in a relationship with a fit guy. One of my best friends brought up my fiance's dead wife and son in a rude way and brought up a sex act I performed with an ex when I was 20 in front of other friends and fiance after dinner. She was drunk and I don't know if I should forgive her, no. And at the end of the day, the disrespect she's shown to your fiance's late wife and son should be enough for you to go, yeah, get love. So we have some relevant comments. Aussie Bibliophile says, Beth is jealous as fuck. that you were in a loving relationship and getting married. Bingo. She 100% thinks bad of you, thinks she's better, and wondering why it's happening to you and not her. Yeah, ego is a hell of a thing, isn't it? She is constantly trying to sabotage your relationship by getting in your head with her bullshit questions and opinions. When that didn't work, she attacked your fiancé directly using the one thing that might push him away. And when that failed, she humiliated you by exposing something terrible to get him to leave you. She is no friend. Drop her and be happy with the remaining friends and fiancé. And I'm still side-eyeing the remaining friends, to be quite fair, because if I witnessed someone do that to someone else, I would not want to know them. They'd go so far down in my estimations, I would see them as dirt. Not gonna lie. OOP, thank you. I'm starting to open my eyes to who she really is. I don't need her in my life. Reading the comments and thinking back has been revealing. Yeah, I bet. It sometimes does take a little bit of outside clarity to really look at a situation and go, wait a minute. This ain't right. What am I doing letting these people do this thing? Because sometimes it does take someone else to take in all that info and relay it back to you with a bit of a slap to reality, to be honest. And when you get that same situation relayed back to you from the mouth of somebody else, it really is like a slap back to reality. It's like, whoa, wait. So, Jana Banana 67 says, I would not have someone like Beth in my life. She revealed something so private and personal to hurt you. It sounds like she's jealous. In many ways, she sounds like the men who used you. Bingo. She may have liked being the thinner friend, and now you have met a good man while she is single and she can't stand it. She wants you to herself. She is filled with jealousy to the point that she is hurting you deeply, and that is not okay. It also says a lot about the way she views people who are plus size. And yeah, if you're plus size and she seems to think that people who are plus size are beneath her, that is not someone you want in your life. If you were to consider having her back in your life, she needs to get therapy and publicly apologise for being a raging asshole to everyone at the party. She needs to explain herself and why she was so cruel. Until she gets her act together, I would steer clear of her. OOP then says, so, all of my friends are on the bigger side, but even after my weight loss, I'm still a lot bigger. Beth is the type of curvy that a lot of men go for these days, and absolutely gorgeous, but now I'm seeing that she is an ugly person on the inside. Honestly, that ugly, negative, rotting personality shines through, and that's why Beth is still single and jealous of your relationship. Now that I look back, she was always complaining about her relationships. I just never thought in a million years she would do this to me, and that she would ever be jealous of me. I always looked up to her and wished my body was like hers. Thank you for responding. And then Poppies at Night says, she was never your friend. Friends celebrate their friends' victories. She was using you to feel better about herself. She liked you low, and now that you had something good going, she needed to sabotage that. Don't take her back. You now see who she was this whole time. Believe it. Precisely. And then OOP says, yeah, I can see this now. She's just hurt and crushed, and what she said about Kyle's late wife and son hurt my heart because she attacked him. Update March 17th, 2024. Minor update. I just got a text from Gwen who told me that she and Mike have cut Beth out of their lives. Better late than never, I suppose. Mike was furious at Beth and got pissed at Gwen for wanting to keep a friend like that. Yes, Mike. Gwen apologised for even considering keeping Beth as a friend. I mean, fair enough, it's one of those things that, maybe Gwen's a bit of a people pleaser and didn't want to take sides, but I'm glad she's seen the light. Relevant comments. Careless Welder 4048 says, girl, I can't believe the other girls still want to be friends with a monster. OOP says Gwen is done with her. I've talked to Stace since right after the brunch with Beth, and now that I'm starting to get angry at what Beth did, I hope Stace sees what Gwen saw. Careless Welder then replies saying, "Girl, Gwen only apologised because her husband told her that she was an idiot. She still wanted to be friends with her. I'll be wary of all of them. Obviously, Beth should not be considered a friend. I do think that, to be fair, it could be that Gwen is just a massive people pleaser and she really didn't want to take side, because some people are like that. Some people are really, really uncomfortable and almost to the point scared of cutting people off. So that could be what it was, and it took her husband being like, 'What are you doing?' To really make her go, 'What am I doing?' You know? So I am going to give Gwen the benefit of the doubt, to be fair." OOP then says, "Maybe, but I'm willing to hear Gwen out. We have all been friends for 20 years, and if I was ever considering Beth, then I am willing to give Gwen and Stace a chance. They were 100% behind me dating Carl right away, whereas Beth was hesitant, and they haven't badmouthed people in front of me like Beth, so I think they deserve a chance." Final update, March 17th, 2024. I've stayed up too late reading and replying to the comments. Honestly, I bet that you had a lot to get through. Thank you everyone for the kind words and for helping me realise that Beth doesn't care about me. I'm hurt, sad and angry, and actually pity the woman Beth became. Somewhere along the way, the 7-year-old Beth that stood up for me when kids would make fun of me and would share the snacks that her mother packed for her died, and I will mourn the loss of that Beth. Now I have to go crawl into bed and cuddle with my man. I'm just so glad that you have your man, to be honest, because yeah, friends screwing you over hurts so much. It really does. So I am glad that she's got that support system there. So down in the comments, "Coming in the Nile, you better not." Beth got jealous that her bigger friend pulled a guy she found attractive, and rather than deal with her insecurity, blew up her relationships. Yay, as they always do. And then Chag Hatai says, "How dare you have what I want when I'm better than you?" Literally, that's how I envision Beth speaking, to be fair. It's true, some people like keeping other people around only because they think they're better than they are and it makes them feel good about themselves. Yeah, unfortunately, there really are people like that, and they'll be the people you think are your closest confidants as well. It sucks. But yeah, in a way, I am glad though that Beth showed her true colours, because yeah, just imagine if she'd made it all the way to like OP's wedding with her. I bet she would have tried to pull some weird shit to make the day all about her. Yeah, OP does not need that in her life at all. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is read a quick Am I the Bort Hole? Only a little one, just because I know that at one point in this video I had to go run off after one of the cats, so there's going to be a little bit of block of time where I'm saying nothing, and I can just tell it's going to mean that the video will be a tad too short for my liking. So we're going to read an Am I the Bort Hole? So this one was posted by Organic Elk 5872 and is titled, "Am I the Bort Hole for not returning the business I inherited from my late father-in-law after I got divorced?" My late father-in-law passed away over a decade ago. He owned a car shop and I started working for him when I was a 15-year-old kid because I always loved working with my hands and I was always obsessed with cars. It's actually how I met my now ex-wife, his daughter. He had 4 kids, 2 sons and 2 daughters. All of them were lawyers and doctors, and I was the only one besides him who had anything to do with the business. So when he stepped down and retired, once he got too sick from cancer, he passed it down to me. Nobody had a problem with it. He later passed away that same year, and I've run it and expanded the shop ever since. A few years ago, my wife cheated on me with another doctor that she works with, and we got divorced. Since we live in an at-fault state and I have proof of her cheating, I got to keep the house and most of the money, and no alimony. We don't have any children because she's infertile, so also no child support. Alimony is a wild concept to me. Now, I don't think alimony is even a thing in the UK, and I'm gonna check that now so I don't make myself sound stupid, but I'm almost certain it's not. Is alimony It seems like someone else has Googled this. Oh, it does exist in the UK, but it's officially called spousal maintenance or simply maintenance, and it's a payment from a higher earning ex-partner to a lower earning one after divorce or dissolution to help with living costs, though courts aim for a clean break where possible, making it less common than in the US. It can be a regular payment term or life or a lump sum ending if the recipient remarries or sometimes upon the payer's death, with the goal to meet needs not covered by existing income distinct from child maintenance. Okay, so yeah, see, I've never known anyone who's been divorced in the UK to get alimony, to be honest with you. So yeah, it does sound like they really try and make sure that it's not actually something that happens. Because I know a few people now who've gotten divorced and none of them have had alimony or paid alimony. I do know someone who got divorced recently though, and they had to go through all of this thing just to make sure that in the future their ex-husband, which they would now be divorced from, could not chase them for any money, say if they inherited money, because that's something that you can apparently do in the UK. Like 20 years down the line, if she inherited a load of money, he could have gone, I want some of that, and could have actually petitioned to get some. Crazy work. Anyway, we've gone on a bit of a tangent here, haven't we? Back to the post. Now she and her whole family are demanding that I give up my business and give it back, but I won't. The transition was done legally, and I still have all the paperwork. There's nothing they can do about it, and now they're almost begging me because it's their dad's legacy and I'm not part of his family anymore, so I shouldn't have it. But now, and for years now, it's been my legacy as well, and I've put blood and tears into it and won't give it up until I retire. Am I the butthole here? No. None of them have paid a blind bit of attention to that mechanic's shop. Was it a mechanic's shop? A garage? We call it a garage here. Yeah, car shop. So garage is what I would call it. Yeah, so since he's had that shop, none of them have paid a single bit of attention to it. None of them have helped out with it. None of them have done anything, whereas OP has worked there since they were 15. 15, for goodness sake. It's crazy that after the years of having it and it was passed down legally and blah, 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 that they're like, can we have that back, please? No, jog on. And to be honest, if the wife hadn't cheated, it'd still be in the family. So they should maybe be side-eyeing her and not the OP. So down in the comments, Bearded One says, not the butthole. I'm a petty individual when I'm wronged, so your story makes me pretty happy. OP says same. And then Forward 23846 says, you should send a text to the whole family and tell them the one they should be mad at is their sister. Exactly. And maybe if she wasn't a cheater, the business would still be a part of their family. Or you can offer to sell it back to them at 2 times the value. When they ask you why so high, you can tell them you applied a cheater tax. Okay, so I think that's all we've got time for today. I think I'm going to try and record a couple more before heading off to bed. With my eldest not being here, it's quite good because they are the one I have to be quiet for. My youngest, genuinely, I can go rooting in the airing cupboard, which is in their bedroom, unfortunately, for like a towel if I want to shower late at night, and they will not wake up. They don't hear a thing. And by the way, an airing cupboard is like, if you don't have them outside the UK, if anyone's listening from outside the UK, it's basically like where you'd keep all your towels and things, and you usually have your boiler in there as well, but I don't because my boiler is now one of the more up-to-date modern types of boilers. But yeah, that's where you just keep all your stuff. So if I want to go for a shower at like 11 o'clock at night, I have to sneak in there and get a towel and sneak back out. So yeah, I think I'm going to record a couple more because I don't have to be quiet as much as I do when the eldest is here. If you made it all the way to the end with me, I appreciate you very, very much. If you give a little like, subscribe, notifications on, and comment for the algorithm pleasing. We must bow to our overlord, the algorithm, unfortunately, even here in the Coven of Void. But yeah, that will be your initiation into the Coven of Void, actually. Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Goodbye!